is enough, and it's time for a change.
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! If you're some love! Ooh, yeah!
With Kinny, Killa.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the gal them sugar should.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
Oh, son of a bitch, if you just heard the glass shatter, it means it's Sunday. It's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 101. And I am the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the one man with no Instagram, Kinny, Killa. And as always, I am kicking it with the hashtag tech guy, the Newport Knight, the gal them sugar shugs.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. Now today, people, we do have a return and a debut. The guys from the Altered Angle podcast, it is none other than Josh Dillion.
Good to be with y'all this morning. It is an honor to be back on your show again, sir.
And his partner in crime, Mr. Pepper Brooks.
Good morning, everyone. Coming to you live from the Bayou in South Louisiana is I, Pepper Brooks. I am very happy to be making my debut with your podcast, and I'm very happy to be able to work with my partner, Josh Dillion, when he's actually sober.
Also, we got our brother with the banter. That's right, none other than Belmont himself, Mr. James Belmont.
Smashing back through like the Shockmaster. I just made it on time. I was on Pigeon Patrol. There's no sign of Velvet Sky yet. Well, I thought it was Velvet Sky. It's Rebby Sky, so I just left.
It bust through like the Shockmaster. Oh, God. How you been, Belmont?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just sipping on some tea.
Sipping on that juice. I think me and Shugs got our Sunny D out today, so hopefully, the Sunny D will spark up our morning. Might have to go to the Vimto, never know.
Things get wild. You're gonna go to the Vimto.
Pepper, it's your debut on the show. Every person that comes on the show, they have to give us their best Macho Man impression and tell us their favorite wrestler today and of all time. So we'll get to that a bit later. But how you been? How's your weekend been so far?
Weekend's doing very well. It's a brisk, cool 43 degrees in South Louisiana, 5 a.m. local time. Little wired, little jacked up on my Red Bull this morning. Doing very well.
Great. Josh, welcome back. You a UFC fan?
I am a casual UFC fan.
Casual. So you didn't watch Ronda Rousey last night then?
No, but people were texting me last night while I was sleeping that she won in a very quick 14 seconds. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Boom. Sorry about your damn luck, and it's all over.
Yeah, no doubt.
Literally. Shugs, how you been, man?
Good, mate, good. Just first week back in work after a week off, so, it's just them mutes, man. It's just tiring me out.
Sending you crazy. Just be careful now. Don't be sending bro kicks all over the place in the school. You do know that's not warranted, right? No curb stomps and shit.
Yeah, I do know. Unfortunately.
Child protection issues, dog. Good. All right, let's get into the show. Sunday Segue 101. Can't believe we're here. It's going to be 2 years soon. So make sure you check that shit out. But website again at the moment is sundaysegue.weebly.com, but it's going to shortly be changing. So I'll fill you guys in. Follow us on Twitter. That's at Sunday Segue. Segue is spelled SEGUE. Please follow us on Facebook. You can email us at sundaysegue@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, Mixcloud, and don't forget to download that Double Twist player. Right. Shout outs. I'm just going to do this quickly. Again, if I can't fit you in, sorry about your damn luck, but I will try and fit you in next week. So, shout outs to at that Adam Guy 65. Shout outs to Daily Wrestling Podcast. That's at Play by Play 123. Shout out to at Juicy Podcast, run by at Juicy Pat Lucy. Also shout outs to at Believe the Shield, at Pro Wrestling Therapy, and at Notorious Steph. That's Steffi. Shout out to you. All right, Shugs, any shout outs?
No, I'm good.
Pepper.
I will save my shameless plugging for another time because I know we're on a time crunch. So, no, I'm good.
Okay, Josh.
I'm not awake.
Belmont.
I forgot to write them down, so no.
Okay, just want to give a shout out to Roxy. I know the other seg heads out there. Also want to give a shout out to our partners in crime, Max Wrestling E-Magazine. The new issue will be coming out next week. So with our first part interview with NWA President Bruce Tharpe, so make sure you check that out. Wrestling video news and also Open Turnbuckle, Through the Ropes, make sure you check those guys out. So let's go into this ish. Let's quickly go through the fast lane pay-per-view. As always, it looks like NXT is beating every other WWE pay-per-view that's out there at the moment, so this is going to be very quick. So let's just go through this quickly. So we started off the pay-per-view, Jugs Authority, Rollins, Big Show, Kane, with obviously J&J Security, against Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Ryback. What did you think of the match and the fact that, was you surprised that the Authority took it down?
It's like they're still trying to keep this little trio relevant by keeping them in these matches, highlighting them on pay-per-view. But it's died already. They had their comeback and they won over against the Authority or whatever. And then why do we have like a break for 2 or 3 weeks and then think that people are still going to be interested in the story? So I just wasn't interested anymore. I'm not interested in this like triple threat match or this in triple tag team, and it's just, give me something else. They should have moved on from this story into something else.
It's just all filler, literally. Dolph Ziggler, Rowan, Ryback, they were all used as a tool to, obviously for the other storyline, and it's the same here, so they just kill it off. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal's coming up, so they can just kill it off, and the guys can just fight in that, This doesn't really mean anything. Let's go on to Goldust and Stardust. Josh, what do you think of, this feud and the fact that how it played out on the pay-per-view? Do you feel that it was a botch finish?
I don't know if it was a botch finish. I don't like the feud from the beginning. I've never liked this feud. I have no desire to see Goldust and Stardust. And I'm probably in the minority here, but I just don't. I like them as a tag team. They were, until Stardust went off his rocker and did his thing and started, the road to parting ways with Goldust. I thought they were great together. All that match did was set up another match, probably at WrestleMania between the two.
Okay. Pepper, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro with Natalya, versus Usos with Naomi. They've had a quite different dynamic. I mean, before it was Tyson Kidd and Cesaro with Natalya as a babyface, but now she's turned heel, which is great. They took down the titles, they took down the champs. Was you surprised that they made a title change here so soon after the Usos, won the titles back? Or is it the right move?
I was very surprised with the title change. We talked about it on the alternate angle, and my pick was the Usos for the match, simply because I figured they would go into WrestleMania with the belts, with Rikishi going into the Hall of Fame. But I love the team of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. They remind me a lot of the Hollywood Blondes, if you go back to your WCW days.
Yeah.
Not saying either one of them have the talent of Steve Austin. But, it's two guys that just kind of threw them together as a team, see what happened. They're gelling, they're clicking. I love it.
The swinging cats. the swinging cats. That's what they're calling them. The swinging, or the brass ring club, if you want to call it that. Belmont, we're gonna bypass the Bella versus Paige, because I'm not talking about divas until the girls from NXT are up. Bad News Barrett versus Ambrose. Oh, again, this is weird. We've been talking about Ambrose for a couple of weeks now in this weird position. Bad News Barrett won by disqualification. A DQ finish. We get that on Raw so much, and then we get it on a pay-per-view. Really?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense, and the ref didn't even audibly count to 5. He just run over and started calling for the bell, and he was stomping him in the corner. If that was the case, Steve Austin would have been disqualified every single match he was in.
Exactly.
So I don't get it. I think it's just a complete waste of time and crowbarred in.
Shugs, Rusev with Lana defeated John Cena by submission. Now, obviously, it goes down in the books of submission. They did the whole pass-out angle as usual. I think Rusev conducted himself really well here. But do you think this needed to happen? Should they just go straight for the Mania match?
Yeah, but it shows that the build and how they're booking is not, there's no consistency, because they've had the match now, so we're going to get a WrestleMania rematch of this match, and it's just they have to drag this out for another 4 weeks, and it's just I don't know. They could have done some other way, you know, just to stretch it out and for Rusev to, like, you know, cause Cena more losses or cause Cena more embarrassment or something before we get to the actual match.
They could have taken him out on a stretcher or something after the match.
I don't know why
leave him off for 3 weeks. Sorry, go on.
I don't know why it had to end the same way that every other match that Rusev has had in the last 3 months has ended.
Exactly. Do something different. Switch it up. But these are the WWE tendencies at the moment. They just think, oh, let's go to an old angle in 2004. Let's just rehash that shit. It's been 10 years and do the same thing again instead of doing something different. They've got different writers from that time, so you know, why not do something different?
Even if he had just come out and like Rusev had just like attacked him as soon as Cena come out and just beat him up so they couldn't have a match. Put him on the shelf for a week.
Right.
Anything.
Because there is no point in them. What reason does Rusev have to give him a rematch at WrestleMania? Because he already beat him.
Exactly.
It's backwards.
Exactly. So
Cena power play. That's all it is.
Okay. Well.
So the way Shook said it, that was actually perfect. Like if he just came and just took him out, although obviously, you know, it's a pay-per-view and whatever, you know, but at the same time, you know, you had the Bellas going in 5 minutes. It didn't matter. You could have just give more time to Ambrose and, you know, and Barrett and just had this happen and actually wait for something. Make Cena build it up. Get an angry Cena, which we don't seem to get all of, you know, every now and again we get him, but we don't get it that often. But Pepper, let's go to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. Everyone, you know, had the magnifying glass on Roman Reigns to see whether he can hang with Daniel Bryan or whether it's obviously Daniel Bryan calling the match. What do you think about Roman Reigns' performance within this? And obviously, you know, WWE shitting on everyone again by just making us see this guy beat Daniel Bryan.
I like the performance from Roman Reigns. I've been a very huge critic of him. I don't think he should have won the Rumble. I don't think he's in a position right now that he should begin a championship opportunity at WrestleMania. But the match between him and Daniel Bryan I thought was very good for what could have been classified a throwaway pay-per-view. I think they put on a very, very good contest between each other. I love the ending of the match where you had Daniel Bryan jump up in his face and say, you know, hey, now you do it. Now you go to WrestleMania, you take the title and you do what you're supposed to do. So, you kind of in a situation where they got to play the cards that they're dealt. But I'm glad to see actually the way it ended. It was a clean finish and not anything that created controversy.
Yeah, it would have been better to have a clean finish rather than more clusterfucks because it's just then open to, you know, interpretation by everyone else. But
if you think back, like if you think of like Bray Wyatt, you know, his probably best matches have been with Daniel Bryan, and like Daniel Bryan manages to have a good match with anyone. But then, if you think how many good matches Bray Wyatt has had with somebody who wasn't Daniel Bryan, I think that's the problem. So when Roman Reigns has his next match, or when Roman Reigns like fights Lesnar or fights people after that, are they going to be as good, or is he going to look like a piece of shit?
Well, now's the time to tell. It's sink or swim time, isn't it, for him? I'm glad he won. I think it's a fresh new baby face. Yeah, and because fans kept banging about, it's predictable, Roman Reigns will win the Rumble, this, that, and the other. Their booking minds said that they want Bryan to win the Rumble and go to WrestleMania, beat Lesnar for the title in a triple threat match. He's done that already. So you want to talk about predictable? Let Roman Reigns do it. Let him take it down. Let's see what he can do on the big stage. Otherwise, we're never going to get out this rut where the company revolves around just one guy. If he gets injured again, Bryan, the company's screwed. Because they've got no backup.
I mean, for me, it's not even so much about whether it's Daniel Bryan or not. For me, it's the fact that I don't feel Roman Reigns is what has he done to be put in this position? You know what I mean? He isn't ready yet, you know, and it's weird. It's like that Lex Luger thing. They just kind of see this guy and think, oh, all right, he's here now. Let's just kind of put him in this position, which, you know, and obviously this position is needed now. And it's just a bit too soon. And obviously, you know, he has the mold of the guy that the WWE think, but he's missing key components for it to run properly, which others have, you know. I feel, you know what, I know Rollins is going to get his time. I know he's going to get his day, but I feel sorry for him right now because he has worked his ass off in terms of character development and everything from what he was in FCW to now. And yeah, I mean, I could talk about it for ages, but Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Rollins will have his time. It's literally only a matter of time. Because I'm still thinking of the cash in at Mania, so he's going to get his time to shine again.
Then that makes sense, he cashes in at Mania, and then we still get the chase, and Reigns still gets that time to build something up.
Exactly. Or if they want to build something so people actually want to watch Raw the next night, you want the parting shot to be Reigns on his back and Rollins above him holding the title after cashing in.
Yeah. But what I would say though is if they do that, I don't want J&J security involved. I just want it just Rollins. Rollins out there.
Yeah, because that's a joke that's gone on too long now. Just kind of just make them disappear back into the backstage area again.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go through each of you now, and please can you tell me your pay-per-view MVP? So, Shugs.
Oh, Jesus.
Exactly. I know. It's going to be hard. Rusev? Yeah. Okay. Pepper.
I'm going to say the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, because we're actually going to go into WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble winner is going to get his title shot, his one-on-one competition shot, which is what he's supposed to get. We shouldn't have even had this discussion and had an opportunity for him to go in as a triple threat. So the Royal Rumble is the real winner from this pay-per-view.
Okay, Josh?
Kid and Cesaro coming out as the tag team champions. I think it's great. That's my MVP.
Okay, Belmont.
Sting. I'm so surprised you didn't even mention this segment.
Oh man, well, what's the point, bruv?
It's the baseball bat versus the sledgehammer. How did you not mention it, bruv?
That is true. Yeah, that is true. You did screw up there, Kenny. Good job.
Yeah, I did screw up there.
Don't worry, guys, you'll get used to it. This is like show 101. I'm used to that shit.
And it starts again, Shigs. And it starts again. All right.
Can I give my shout out?
Yeah,
I want to give my shout out to one of my childhood heroes and one of my still heroes, Mr. Leonard Nimoy. That's what I give my shout out to. I'm going to pour some liquor for my homie, Mr. Nimoy.
Yeah, man. Live long
and
prosper.
Yeah.
All right, then. Seeing as I got blindsided and switching, by that statement, let's just go into this thing then. What do you guys feel about Sting?
It's too late, man. You fucked up. Nah, it's too late. Let's go. Move on.
No, you can. You can edit this in just before.
No, Shugs ain't going to do that shit.
Come on, Shugs, you're the tech guy.
All right. Well, we'll talk. I'll talk about it anyway when we go into Raw. We'll save it for that. Okay. But yeah, your pay-per-view MVP, sorry, Belmont, was? Sting. Okay, Sting. All right, let's go into Raw anyway. Let's just go into Raw. We start off, Orton and the Authority. Obviously, Orton made his return at the pay-per-view. Again, a lukewarm reception at the pay-per-view, which was weird. This guy's been up for ages. But he comes out, Shugs, getting a massive pop. What was your thoughts on this don't give a shit kind of Orton? Compared to the old one,
I think the pop was better because the crowd was better. The crowd was like pretty shit on the pay-per-view, but it was a better crowd obviously on Raw. And it's funny how he says I'm not going to do this 20-minute monologue, but then we still ended up having a 20-minute monologue at the beginning of the show.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Stupid.
But it was good to see Orton back. They kept him off TV for the right amount of time. I still think they wasted that return, just him coming into that shit match that no one cares about. That's probably why the pop was so dead. Because, like, who cares about Ryback and fucking Eric Rowan getting beat up? Nobody. So why are they going to care that Orton comes back to make the save?
Do you reckon they should have done it when maybe Rollins tried to do some kind of a cash-in?
Yeah, I think it should have been something more to do with Rollins, rather than that triple with all those people in there. It's not really like he's coming back for Rollins. It's like he's coming back against the Authority or whatever, where really his beef should be with Rollins and Rollins only.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. There's 3 guys there. One guy coming in to try and to save 3 guys. It's just a bit weird. It's just a bit weird. But Pepper, what was your take on Orton's booking here? I mean, showing us what kind of Orton did on the video and then doing nothing. It's just a bit weird.
I agree. I agree. It was a waste. There's so many other ways that you could have brought him back in, and this just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I like the idea of him trying to cash in and and Orton interfering and costing, and maybe costing him the opportunity to win the championship. And then, but yeah, it was just weak booking.
Plus, haven't we seen this join the team stuff already? Did we see that before he got his head kicked in?
Well, we saw it all the way back in Survivor Series when Eric Rowan popped out of nowhere and joined the Team Cena. So, yeah, it could have been handled a lot better.
Belmont, I mean, I thought Triple H was good here, all right? And this is where I'm going to insert the Sting stuff. Triple H he was soaking like a schoolboy bitch.
His bottom lip was sticking out on all sorts. He just looked like a little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the pay-per-view, the face-to-face, which was, again, to have a segment like that, build that up for a pay-per-view, it was a bit weird because they could have just easily done that on Raw. It's not like people's going to buy the pay-per-view after it's happened just to see him face-to-face with Sting. But yeah, nevertheless, I was a bit surprised that he got so much shots in on Sting. And then obviously Sting brings out the equalizer, the baseball bat. But yeah, what do you think about Sting still being silent and not saying anything?
I agree with it in terms of the original Crow character was a silent protagonist where his face did the expression, told the story. But the stories of this feud has kind of got a bit blurred for me because is Triple H really trying to sell to me that Sting's coming back to avenge WCW 14 years late? Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit strange to me because they're all calling him vigilante and stuff now. It's just I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, and I don't know why Triple H was out there in a leather jacket and jeans trying to look badass at like 55.
You heard what Michael Cole said? He come to fight.
Oh,
he comes to fight with a leather jacket and.
Yeah, but he's the COO. Just come out in a suit. It would have made no difference.
Exactly.
No, it's a weird thing for me. I'm optimistic that the match is going to be, watchable. I just hope Sting takes it down at Mania. I don't want him losing and then just disappearing.
Yeah, that'll be weird. I mean, we've heard some stuff, Josh, about what the booking's going to be like for Sting. He could potentially, obviously, beat Triple H, but then maybe, give him to Bray Wyatt to beat at SummerSlam, because obviously there's going to be a fallout if Bray Wyatt loses to Taker, which he should, and he's going to need to be strong again. And what more to maybe feed him to Sting?
Well, you got a couple different things going on here with those questions. If Sting, all right, so we're not really. You can't really say that Bray Wyatt is going to lose to Undertaker because the Undertaker has already lost at WrestleMania. So what's the point of having him go over Bray Wyatt again? What's the point of Undertaker winning? So the fact that Sting is going to be in a match with Triple H, I think is one of the things that they finally have done right here in the last 6 months to a year, or all this time of really bad writing and bad shows. I'm looking forward to that very much. So I think it's going to be a really good match. Now going forward, like I said, if Sting, which he should win, if he wins, I don't know how much more we'll see of Sting. Other than maybe a Hall of Fame induction at some point. I don't know how many more matches they're gonna put him in, and I don't see him putting over Bray Wyatt. I don't think that's in the. I wouldn't see that as being part of the plan.
No, I don't mean to jump in, but I think he said on the Ross Report a little while ago he's only got one good match left in him, so I think Mania will be his swan song, and then he'll just disappear.
He'll just disappear after that.
Yeah.
Is that enough for us in terms of fans that's watched wrestling for how many years? Is that enough of us?
I think they were planning on him finishing, weren't they, at Texas Stadium next year, but then obviously next year if he goes in Hall of Fame at Texas Stadium, in his hometown or whatever, so I think that'll be good. Basically, they should have never lost because what's the point, man?
Yeah.
Taker
should have never lost.
Up and then we could have got some finish where the Undertaker won like by the skin of his teeth, but can't leave the ring, like before, and Lesnar could have still been a beast, He don't turn up every week anyway, so what the fuck does it matter? And he was supposed to be on Raw, and last night he was front row at UFC. So is Lesnar going to make Mania?
Well, see, this is what we'll get to that a bit later. But let's move on. Let's move on to the next segment. Ziggler versus Barrett. Shugs, Like none of this stuff is making sense. I mean, none of this stuff makes sense. The pushback was sat there, right? For the seconds that don't know, the pushback is R-Truth. But the pushback was sat there, yeah. Why? Why? Barrett loses again. I just don't. It's just every time I see something like this happening. I mean, Sugs, you said it numerous times about the IC title, and the more I watch New Japan and stuff, it's just chalk and cheese, man. It's just so weird why they book this the only secondary title that they have like this. Yeah. What was the? No, sorry, Sugs. What was the pushback doing there anyway?
Beat Barrett, and they actually continued the storyline from like SmackDown or something like that. So they're actually doing some consistency in the booking. He won a match. He got to appear on the next show.
He won a match. Was it the previous SmackDown where he beat him?
Know. Do you watch SmackDown?
Well, apparently it was weeks ago when he beat Barrett.
That's fine. That doesn't matter.
It was news to me. I didn't even know he beat him either.
He just the pushback just turns up and starts addressing Booker T, and it's just like
it's just like
yeah.
Because
anyway,
because they're both black guys, do they have to be like just great buddies?
You know what you saying, brother? What you saying, homie? Like,
it's just that's because the way Vince McMahon thinks. He's like,
that's what I'm saying. It's
these guys, they must know each other, you know.
They must know. They must know each other.
Be great buddies.
It's just the same sometimes when, like, us British guys go to America and someone says, "Oh, do you know David Beckham?" Do you know that?
Wait a minute. So you guys don't know David Beckham?
I love it. Oh, Pepper, I'm coming to you, homie. I'm coming to you. Are we then getting a 4-way at Mania?
Oh no, they've announced a ladder match.
I believe him.
Shut up.
Yeah, ladder match.
Well, and the pushback's in there.
Daniel Bryan's in there.
What?
Oh, for fuck's sake! What?
No, wait a minute. Pepper, did you know this?
Yeah, it was announced. I believe it was on SmackDown that they're going to do 5 or 6 man ladder match for their Continental Championship, and Daniel Bryan is going to be a part of it.
No, you know what? I love the way. Yeah. Did you know? I do. Did you? Yeah, no. Daniel Bryan is in there. Fuck.
Yes.
Why?
Jeez, I'm surprised. Some live reactions right there. I'm surprised. Shit. Okay. Well, that means obviously we're probably gonna get Daniel Bryan in there. The pushback. Ziggler, Ambrose, Sheamus.
So on the WWE homepage, on the WrestleMania thing, it says WrestleMania ladder match announced. Champion Bad News Barrett will defend it in a multi-superstar match. Both the number of participants and identity of challengers will be revealed in the coming weeks.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, I'm glad they're trying to fix things with the IC title now. If someone like Daniel Bryan wins the title, that'll do great wonders for it, I suppose.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing with both titles. Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental title, Cena, US champion.
Yeah. It's a good idea when you think about it on that scale.
It says he's lost matches to R-Truth and Ziggler, so looks like they're in there.
Oh, and he did lose to Bryan on SmackDown, I think, as well. SmackDown just gone.
No one watches SmackDown.
It's because I see the picture. That's what. I see the picture. That's just bad. You know, you're off key if you confess to watching SmackDown. Anyway, let's move on. The Ascension versus PTP. Primetime players are back. Josh, I think they're kind of just. I feel like they're burying guys from NXT. Just just no consistency. It's just a bit weird that all of a sudden, all these NXT people are coming up, and it's just like it's gonna just rag on them straight away. What's your feeling in the Ascension and how they've been booked so far?
Oh, it's been terrible. It's been an absolute joke. Me and Pepper talked about this last week on our show. These guys were complete badasses in NXT, and now they put war paint on them and a cheap Road Warrior shoulder pad theme, send them out there, and they've become the biggest douchebags on the roster. It's stupid. It's just really stupid. I don't understand unless you're right, unless it's just Vince that he doesn't want to see these NXT guys succeed because he doesn't care about the NXT. and he doesn't care about the next wave of guys coming up. I don't know.
He's pissed. Vince is pissed. He should be fucking happy. Look at his roster in NXT compared to the roster now.
Oh, it's stacked.
Oh my god.
Completely stacked.
You got U-Heart Nation coming in as well. Look at this fucking roster on NXT. And he's vexed because these guys are performing better than the guys that's on the main roster, barring a few people. He should be happy with that. But yeah, Belmont, what the fuck is up with JBL? You know, this guy was ripping on Ascension since they came in, right? Then all of a sudden now he's kissing us.
Yeah, no, he's inconsistent on commentary. It's diarrhea. This dude. I don't know what his problem is. I think he's slamming too much Jack behind the announce desk.
I wish I had Jack right now.
Because the thing with the Ascension is, yeah, you're right. Awesome in NXT. I look back and they come up and now they've been made to look like idiots week in, week out. It's because it's not Vince's creation. It's not his baby. It's just smack of jealousy. That's why they're being booked like this, because it's not his idea.
Well, it is his idea now. I mean, because they didn't have this gimmick in NXT. They came up to the main roster, and then he threw this garbage on them, so he did make them theirs.
Yeah, he did it. He did that to fuck them up.
Oh yeah.
Damn it! I don't want a new tag team.
The tag teams are dead. Like,
if it was up to Vince with his narrow-mindedness about big guys, Kane and Big Show would be tag champions again, for God's sake. I think you just nailed it on the head. That's probably what's going to happen at Mania. Probably.
Oh, good. All right. Bryan, Reigns, Heyman. Pepper, I don't kind of like the way WWE are kind of consistently using guys to endorse Reigns, which is, it's just a tool to kind of shove him even more. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Roman Reigns. I just don't like the fact that, he's not being brave enough to just be like, no, fuck what you're giving me. I am going to say what I'm going to say and kind of try and just roll with it on my own kind of thing. But do you feel it's right to kind of use these guys to endorse this guy when he should kind of be endorsing himself?
Yeah, it's probably not the best thing to do, but remember back a couple of weeks, that god-awful interview that Roman Reigns did. I mean, you really don't have any choice. You've got to get the guy over, and it's very obvious he's not going to get himself over by using his own talent. Whether or not they don't want to allow him to do that, or he just doesn't have it right now, I'm not really sure. But you kind of painted yourself in a corner. You're stuck with what you've gotten right now, so you got to make the best of it. So I say you can use him, but the crowd's definitely too smart to fall for it.
See, and that's why I find it weird, because it's like they've put themselves in this position when they didn't actually have to. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the Alternate Angle, and they had the perfect storyline. I know it's a repeat from last year, but Daniel Bryan win the Rumble. You have David versus Goliath going into WrestleMania. The promos between Paul Heyman and Daniel Bryan, I mean, it writes itself. It's so fucking simple, yet we need to do the most complicated thing and try to get it over Reigns. So it makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. Let's just play the card belt.
Yeah, true. I mean, but could you imagine the hype if Roman Reigns was given it every year and it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar next year? The next WrestleMania, you'd probably be even more hyped than. Well, there's probably not that much hype now, but there'll be even more hype next year, given that he would have had time to kind of build his stock a bit more, and maybe get more of it over with the fans. But Shugs, let's talk about. Sorry, Pepper. Shugs, let's talk about Lesnar. Obviously, like you said earlier, he was meant to be booked here. But apparently, him and Vince had some beef to do with the business relationship in terms of, a new deal, which what the dirt sheets say. Do you think that this could affect Mania, though, in the long run, really?
Well, it depends how many dates he's got left to do. But, because you know what, you don't want to be really in breach of contract with the WWE, because, they just go after people, like we've seen with like CM Punk at the moment. But apparently it came to the date because he went, signed in, and he was at the building. So as long as he completes the amount of dates he's got left, I think he'll be out. And he was at UFC last night, so I think he's gone, really. He can always come back. That's the thing. If he goes and does UFC for like 2, 4, 3 years, he can still come back and, he'll be fine being a pro wrestler. How old is he, Lesnar?
He's late 30s, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's late 30s. I don't think he's 40 yet. I would assume he's like 37, something like
Exactly. So he'll be fine.
that. Alright, next. Sorry. Someone else want to say something on it?
I was just going to chime in a little bit on the UFC with Lesnar, and I've been reading the dirt sheets a lot this morning. Yeah, he was there last night at 182 with Dana White, and everybody's talking about, well, Lesnar can go back to UFC for a couple of years and then, return to WWE. The last couple matches, I understand he was hurt, but the last couple fights he had in UFC, Lesnar got his ass handed to him. So I wouldn't be so confident to say that he's automatically going to go back to UFC and have a 2 or 3 year run with them. I don't think he can do it.
I don't think he's medically able because he had a massive operation on his intestines, I think it was, and it nearly killed him. So I think that's
Correct.
part of the reason why I went back to WWE in the first place. Because you're right, the last 2 fights he had, he got his ass kicked. So I don't think going back's the best idea at the moment, unless he feels healthy enough to do it.
Yeah, just the diverticulitis or whatever it's called. Well, time will tell. We ain't got that long to Mania, so I have to keep throwing down our 30 odd days left, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If he does go before Mania, they're fucked.
Well, it all comes down to contractual status. If he's going to extend his contract, he's not going to lose at Mania, I don't think. If he's leaving, well, he's kind of got to drop the title, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
It all comes down to that. Or, like Suge said, if he can go for like 2-3 years and then come back to shake things up again, I'll be all for it because he's being pushed as a prize fighter attraction, comes out for only special occasions. Maybe he should go for a bit before that starts to wear off and then just come back out of nowhere and do something drastic to shake it up again.
Yeah, I like that. Right, let's go on to Usos versus Kid and Cesaro. Belmont, Kid and Cesaro, they seem to obviously, be given a bit of a lifeline by, tagging together, and it seems to be working well. But is there anything else missing from them, do you think?
I don't know. There's still something missing with Cesaro. I don't know what it is. It's a weird disconnect with me. There's something missing with Cesaro. Something's just not clicking yet. I don't know what it is. I'm happy they got the tag team titles, but it could easily be taken away within a few weeks before Mania. That's the kind of cynic I am. I don't know if they're going to hold on to them that long. So, because he's had a few false starts. He's had a couple of character changes. I don't know. They just haven't had that Austin moment with him yet. Something's just not there. He's got something. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a great admirer of his talent and his ring work, but as far as character and that goes, there's just like a bit of a void there. They need to sort that out.
Josh, Natty took a horrible bump on the apron. I don't know if people caught that, but geez, man, she got pulled down and bust her face on the apron as well as her ankle, which may have been a work. But the team seems better, like I said, with Natty as a heel than a face. How far could they go, though, Josh? How far could they really go with this team?
I'm not sure who was just talking about Cesaro not connecting, but you're exactly right. Cesaro is a fantastic performer. He can carry a match with anybody pretty much and look good. He just does not have a character. That's his big problem. He's just a guy out there who can wrestle. He does not have a character, which is probably going to hurt him and Kid in the long run. The biggest star of that team is Natty, and if you take her out of there, then Tyson Kidd, it could just be David Hart Smith. It could be a tag team. It could be anybody because they have really dropped the ball with Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd is great in the ring, and right now he's got the little douchebag character thing going on where he's kind of a jerk and whatever, but it works for him. But then having Natty there and having her being like she's basically the biggest star on that team. So I don't think they can go too far, and probably just because of Cesaro's lack of actually developing a character that anyone cares about other than hardcore wrestling fans who just want to see people wrestle.
Mm-hmm. True, I like that. Next we had Cena and Rusev. Shugs, do you think that we'll get a normal match for the US title or a gimmick match for the US title at Mania?
Well, I think we should get some type of gimmick match because, they've already had just a normal match, so it's probably going to be like an I Quit match, and then Cena will win. Because Cena's not going to lose an I Quit match, is he?
Which means Cena will be US champ. And then do you reckon he should, if Cena does win the US title, do you reckon he should drop it back to Rusev at the following pay-per-view?
Yeah, Extreme Rules or whatever they have after, and then he can just drop in another type of gimmick match where it's like not a clean finish, and then he'll be fine. Protect Cena as always. And then what's Rusev going to do then?
Who knows?
Sheamus, probably.
Oh.
But y'all know Sheamus too, right? All you guys know Sheamus?
Unfortunately not. We've talked about Sheamus for the last couple of weeks and the fact that the guy's coming back. The exact same. They just don't learn. Like
I thought he was coming back as a heel.
Listen, this guy is
Does it really matter?
Back no, exactly, don't.
Well, no, I like the Smash Mouth style he's got, and if he's used properly, yeah, it'll work.
If he's used properly, but come on, it's WWE now.
Yeah, I suppose.
They should have kept him the way he was at the beginning before he started running a bit on the
Exactly.
when the shows come after him. They should have just came like that, all beast mode. No, the show was it the next that he was running from? I can't remember.
Yeah, yes, he was in the backstage area. He was Cena, just killed his character straight away.
Pepper, what's your take on this feud though with Cena and Rusev?
I think it's good. It seems like here lately, Cena has been more willing to take a backseat to help elevate some of the guys. It's bringing Rusev up. I know you got the typical American versus Russian storyline that's been played out over and over and over again. But I think it's going to help Rusev in the long run, even if he does lose to Cena at Mania. Plus, you have an opportunity there. If you're putting the belt on Cena, that's time you're adding more credibility to the belt. You're style feeling because Cena won his championship at WrestleMania, which was the U.S. championship. I like it.
Okay.
Kind of coming full circle, isn't it? The problem with that is they cannot start doing what they did with the IC title and start hot shotting it every pay-per-view because that's just not going to help anyone.
I got a few little bits in here before we go to the main event. Josh, what are you doing with the women, man? Something come out, AJ or someone said something about they should get, Divas should get more time, and then wham, what happened? 30 seconds, done. What's that? What's that all about?
Well, what it's all about is the WWE does do gender discrimination, and they're probably one of the worst companies, in the country that does it because it's a known fact that these girls do not make near the amount of money that men make on the roster, and to have Stephanie come out and give kudos to Patricia Arquette, who is an actress on a show that no one watches or a new show that's coming out, who received her Oscar and used her 5 minutes to talk about gender discrimination. Well, all that happened was AJ called her out on it, and she used the facts of the matter. She said, we don't get the pay the men do, we get shit on basically. And how can you say that, how can you applaud somebody for being standing up for gender discrimination, yet you do it, and it's obvious that you do it. The fact that AJ Lee called her out on it was great because she doesn't care. She just and she wasn't nasty. She wasn't personal. She stuck to the facts, and she done it, and she had every right to do it, and I applaud her for it.
Yeah, you have to shed light on those situations, man, definitely. But I don't know what podcast I was listening to. I can't remember. I think it may have been What's Next, but they were talking about rehashing the whole, Divas division, and when Charlotte comes up, having her win the Divas title and then do a Medusa and say, I'm not a diva, I'm a women's athlete. Dash the Divas title in the ring, in the bin, come up the next week with the women's championship, and we have a complete rehash. Whether that works or not, who knows? But
my wallet just smacked against the screen when he said that. I would love that to happen.
I would love to see them. They have so much potential. I mean, I know a lot of them are just models, but there are a lot of them that can wrestle, and a lot of them that if they just give them a few more minutes instead of running the video packages every 5 seconds, they would have plenty of time to let these girls go out there and do something.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And stop using
Yeah,
Total
but
Divas as the way to give the matches angles would be a good start as well. Because people who don't watch Total Divas is alienated.
Yeah, 100%.
Could Michael Cole go, oh, did you watch Total Divas when so-and-so did this to so-and-so? It's just like, no, I don't watch Total Divas. And we're using this as an angle for a match? Seriously?
Well, it's the same with fucking JBL talking about Wayne Rooney and fucking press. What the fuck do you know about what we're watching, bro? Like, I don't get that. I don't get. Anyway, Bushwhackers, Belmont, in the Hall of Fame. Yes, no?
Yeah, why not?
No.
No.
No, why not? I think they were just a fun tag team from back in the day. Why not?
Because it's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Mediocrity. I mean, you have the Bushwhackers in there. You're putting Rikishi in this year. You have, you have Coco Beware in the Hall of Fame. It's a joke. That's all it is. There's no serious. You can't take it seriously.
Owen Hart's not in there, though, is he?
No, Owen Hart's not in there. Your guy, the British Bulldog, is not in there. Rick Rude is not in there. I mean, I can make a list of all the people that should be in there. But Jesus Christ, we have Drew Carey in there. I mean, it is a complete joke.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Listen, would it be better to have the Steiners in there rather than the Bushwhackers?
No.
Absolutely.
No. I'd rather the Bushwhackers in there.
Than the Steiners?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never rated the Steiners that much.
That's interesting. Oh, good. All right. Pepper. Curtis Axel.
Yes.
And the Axel Mania gimmick. Can it work?
I'm glad you got this question, Pepper.
It's Axel Mania.
I'm glad I got this question too. We would like to, at the altar angle, would like to wish Curtis Axel good luck in all future endeavors because it's coming.
It's coming. It's gonna get FedExed. Bye.
Yeah. I don't even think they're going to FedEx his release papers. I see a 49-cent postage stamp in his future.
Just fire him over the phone.
Yeah.
And Dixie Carter will be calling him just as soon as he gets cut.
Yep. And how funny would it be if he turns up like an EC3?
Oh my god.
That's enough of the total non-stop shit. But let's go into Shugs. Who wins the Memorial Battle Royal?
Mizday.
100%. 100. If this guy wins, I'll be marking up. Not gonna lie, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. It'll probably make a bigger impact rather than having someone say like Ryback win. A heel won it last time, so face me with it this time. Why not this time?
Is Ziggler in there?
Not if he's in the Intercontinental title match.
Yeah, but you know what they're like. They usually swerve this thing and put Ziggler in the crap matches, don't they?
Yeah. All right, let's go to the main event. Reigns, Bryan versus Orton and Rollins. What's your thoughts on the match, Belmont?
It was all right. It was okay. It's kind of like I did actually watch SmackDown a few weeks ago when they did the tag team turmoil thing. Did any of you watch that?
Nah.
Same kind of thing. Both Reigns and Bryan trying to one up each other most of the match and stuff. It was all right. It was okay. Finish was a bit. It was a bit rough, but it was all right. It was okay.
Josh, what is with Orton kind of going nuts? Then patting Rollins on the back, like again, more weird booking. I thought tonight of Orton.
I guess they're holding off him the eventual turning on the Authority for good, but the whole thing is very bizarre to me that he comes back and attacks the Authority, but then they patch things up, and then Rollins causes him to lose, and he pats him on the back and says, "We'll get him next time, kid." It's very not Orton character to do something like that. So Pepper said it right before. They should have held this off, or whoever said it. We should have held this off until WrestleMania, where he came out and actually caused the Authority some grief, or did something to take down the Authority. Not just what they're doing is completely completely stupid.
Well, true. They're building. That's all they're doing. They're building. They don't want to do it all in like one quick blaze in a couple of weeks where he comes out, starts RKO and the whole Authority straight away. Because he's playing a Viper, isn't he? He's probably just giving him a full sense of security, and then bang, he's going to screw him when it hurts him the most.
Yeah.
But does an actual Viper give you a false sense of security, though?
I don't know. I have to watch the YouTube channel, but
I Viper is acting.
The analogies.
I don't
It's just gonna bite you. Shugs, lastly, what the hell are these two Canucks doing? Fucking just like blowing kisses at each other and shit at the end of the match, like when Bryan tags in. What are they doing?
It's just shit.
All right, let's just end this Raw, because they ended Raw with the blowing the kisses at each other, and then with a recap of Orton just walking away and patting it back. Shit end to Raw. Let's just end that there and give a Raw rating, please.
5.
5. Josh.
It's just 5 out of 1 to 10.
10.
10 being the best. We'll say 5.
Okay, Pepper.
4.
Belmont.
Yeah, I'm going to say 5. It was run of the mill. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't set the world alight, so I'm going 5.
All right. We haven't got any feedback today, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to a break, and then we'll be back with Sugs Stunners and a part 2 interview with NWA President Bruce Tharpe and Track of the Week, so don't you miss it.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kinny, Killa, and the Galdem Sugar Sugs.
Yes! Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
And we're back, people. Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 101. It's your boy, Kinny Killa. Obviously here with the Galdem Sugar Shugs. We are also here with the Altered Angle's own Josh Dillion and Pepper Brooks. And none other than the Belmont banter himself, James Belmont. So, right about now, people, it's time for Sugs Stunners.
Oh, the stunner!
Okay, Jobber of the Week. I don't know who's. Yeah.
Such a long list.
Yeah.
Curtis
Axel, but he's still getting TV time, and he's got his own fucking T-shirt. They're making merch for him, but.
Wade Barrett.
It's gotta be Barrett, because he's just being dragged down with his shit, with these lead boots of the Intercontinental title. Move of the Week. I don't know, was there any good? I can't remember anything good of TV. Maybe Rusev kicking Cena in the nuts. And rest of the week, I suppose it'll have to be Roman Reigns.
Roman.
Came out on top.
Takes it down.
What more can you say?
All right, so kids, we're about to go to a part 2 interview with NWA President Bruce Tharpe. So yeah, make sure you check this out now and enjoy. So let's go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, a few years ago you re-established a relationship with them. How important is that partnership for your organization?
Critical. It's a very, very critical, important relationship for us because of the exposure that we're getting. Clearly, New Japan Pro Wrestling is looked upon as the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world. WWE, it's had the number 1 slot for many, many years. However, I think New Japan is quickly overtaking the WWE because they present a completely different product. It's not sports entertainment. It's professional wrestling, and it's hard-hitting professional wrestling. And the style that New Japan presents is very similar to the one that National Wrestling Alliance presents. I mean, we pride ourselves on being as real as it gets because, people talk about wrestling being predetermined and different things like that. But I'll tell you what, if you come to a National Wrestling Alliance event, and I don't care if it is in the UK, Australia, or anywhere across the United States, and you watch our wrestlers in the ring, you're going to sit there and you're going to tell yourself, wow, these guys are really hitting each other. And that's the truth, because you got to be tough. You got to be able to take it, and that is the style of the future that we believe. We believe it's a strong style that I think the fans are tired of the sports entertainment. I think the fans are tired of those backstage vignettes. I think the fans are tired of there being more talking instead of wrestling. So we are taking it in a different direction. We believe it's the product of the future, and we believe it's only a matter of time before we get that opportunity on national television. And once that happens, the snowball is going to begin to roll, and there's going to be no stopping it.
I mean, you have guys like, Jax Dane and Chase Owens wrestling on New Japan cards at the moment. Obviously, Chase Owens and Rob Conway was on the Sunday card. This must be great for their development.
Absolutely. There's a lot of young wrestlers out there, that are learning, and the best way that they can learn is by watching the veterans out there, and trying to learn from them. And there's a lot that they can learn, not just in ring moves and things like that, but the way you conduct yourself in the dressing room is very important. I mean, learning how to conduct yourself like a gentleman and learning how to conduct yourself like a professional is critical, because if you don't conduct yourself properly like a businessman, you're not going to be getting booked very frequently. So there's so much that the young guys can learn from the vets, and the veterans that I've been around, particularly Iron Man Rob Conway, have been very, very free with their advice. So that's a good thing.
What made you decide to become an on-air character?
Actually, that happened by itself. I mean, it's not something that I decided. The National Wrestling Alliance was invited to New Japan to defend the World Heavyweight Championship. They asked me for an interview, kind of like this one. And basically, I told the Japanese people the truth. I said, we are here to prove that we are the best in the world. The National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion is the #1 wrestler in the world. And we're here to prove that. And to do that, we're going to meet and defeat all of your top wrestlers. And when we started doing that, they started booing me. Well, wasn't my choice. Mm-hmm. They started booing me. And it started to get, happen more often and frequently, and the boos got more, and they started chanting, "Go home." And then, since I was on television, I was looking at some of my suits that I was wearing on television. I thought, why don't I just throw in a little color? We're on camera anyway. Might as well wear a flashy jacket. So happened to be in Taiwan and picked up a couple of nice, colorful jackets, and that seemed to add octane to everything. So unfortunately, it's developed into the fact that the National Wrestling Alliance Shacho, as they call me, which is president in Japanese, has become one of the hatest men in Japan. So that's not my fault. That's what they've decided, and that's okay. Yeah. And as long as New Japan continues to book me, I'm going to continue to go over there, and I'm going to do the same thing that we've always done. Yep. We're gonna go over there. We're going to beat their wrestlers, and if they don't like it, too bad. Now, unfortunately, they've got a couple of our belts right now.
Yeah. I mean, Liger's got one, hasn't he?
Exactly. And nothing against Jushin Thunder Liger. I mean, what a phenomenal wrestler he is. He's a legend all over the world. He's known, wrestled in Europe and the United States and Australia, all over Japan, of course, and Asia. He's a phenomenal representative for the National Wrestling Alliance. But there's a line of guys that want to take his place. So, when you're a champion, you've always got somebody looking to knock you off your perch. So, we're putting together some challengers for Jushin Liger. We're planning on bringing him over to the United States at some point in the future. And, that's what professional wrestling is all about, is competition. So we're going to bring that to the Japanese, and we're going to try to keep it going. And as long as, we're creating competition for the Japanese and excitement for them, we think that they're going to continue to bring us over. So we're enjoying it. We're enjoying the experience with New Japan. And it's bringing us a lot of positive awareness as well.
Definitely. I mean, the color I was going to say about the jackets. That's some nice jackets, my friend.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
I'm going to say something else about the fact that you're out there, and then the fact that it's happened organically. It's 2015, and this is what is happening. You're not force feeding it down us. You're not telling us who we should like or who we shouldn't like. People are making those judgments for themselves, and then people are acting on based upon what how people are addressing them. So I like that. That's how you became on screen. But how much of you in New Japan and that character, how much of that is actually you?
They say that, to be the best character, it has to be based on yourself. So I'd say 90%. It's me.
Okay, 90%, but the volume turned up loud.
All I've done is turned up the volume a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a true belief in the National Wrestling Alliance, and I do believe that we're the number one wrestling organization in the world. And we're going to continue to prove that as we develop, as we add new wrestlers to our roster, and as we add new promotions to our group. And I'm looking forward to traveling around the world. I mean, I'm looking forward to proving that in many different areas as many different areas as we can.
So as we said, I watched the New Japan in Sendai. Rob Conway lost the title to Hiroyoshi Tenzan. I saw a picture you tweeted out, on the flight. So how's your nose?
The nose is recovering, slowly. It's throbbing. I mean, it's fractured. There's a cut on it, and I'm sure there's going to be a nice scar on there, which I certainly don't appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I did not anticipate getting involved in the action, but as you know, I am an attorney, and I'm in the process of filing a protest. I'm in the process of filing a protest with the Japanese, and my position is very simple. At the time that Tenzan, and it's documented on camera, okay? You saw it yourself. At the time Tenzan grabbed me and he headbutted me, he should have been instantly disqualified. And had he been disqualified at the proper time by that Japanese referee, Rob Conway would still be the World Heavyweight Champion. So there's a legitimate controversy involved. And I'm filing a protest with Tokyo Sports. And depending upon what they rule, considering taking the matter to federal court in the United States. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Japanese stole the World Heavyweight Championship from the National Wrestling Alliance. And we're going to get it back one way or the other.
Well, it was not one, it was not two, but it was 3 headbutts. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, so, yeah.
Broke my glasses, severely lacerated my nose, required 3 stitches, possible fractures of the bone, damn near knocked me out. But the worst thing is it got blood on my jacket.
I was going to say that as well, not the silver jacket.
Yeah, that's the worst part. It got blood on my jacket, and I don't appreciate that. And trust me, Tenzan, payback's going to be a bitch for Hiroshi Tenzan.
Well, you did look generally pissed. You went into the camera and you were pointing fingers, shouting all obscenities. So, you're definitely pissed there. All right, so I believe you tweeted out a picture of your son holding a lot of money, and you said like father, like son. So your son, would you want him to get involved in the business?
He asks me all the time, Daddy. He asked me, he says, when you die, am I going to be the NWA president? Wow. So I'm sure he's interested. I'm sure he's very much interested. And, all kidding aside, my interest is in really taking care of this brand. And I do need to think about the future in terms of, when I step down, if and when I step down, when that's going to be. I'm still a relatively young man, so, I anticipate holding the reins of this company for at least the next 20 years or so. But whether my son gets involved in the wrestling profession, I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to encourage him to become an active wrestler, an active participant, but he may get involved on the promotion side, on the business side. That'd be something I would leave up to him when he gets a little bit older.
What does the future hold for Bruce Tharpe and the NWA?
We're going to continue to keep this company on an upward path, and that's going to be exposure on television around the world, the development of more merchandise, things like that. But my job, I see myself as a steward. I've been entrusted with a very respected, well-respected brand, and basically it was dropped on my doorstep, like a baby that had been abandoned. And I was not going to abandon this brand because I started out with the NWA, with the old NWA. My dad knew Sam Muchnick. I met Lou Thez. So I hold this brand dear to my heart. Truly, I do. That's why I'm working so hard for it. So the future of the NWA is going to be, I'm going to give it my heart, my soul, and 100% of everything I can to help restore this lovely and wonderful brand to the position of prominence that it once held. And in fact, I want to take it even beyond that. I mean, who knows what the future holds, but I have the highest and the most ambitious intentions possible for the National Wrestling Alliance.
Amazing. Can you let the UK fans know where they can find you on Twitter, NWA website?
Sure. On Twitter, you can follow me at RB Tharpe. And I'm also on Facebook, R. Bruce Tharpe. You can find me there. And definitely follow the National Wrestling Alliance website, which is at nwaringside.com, for all the latest news, for the latest programming and videos that you're going to see on our stars, the National Wrestling Alliance, for news of our great promotions that we've got. So those are many different places that you can find us. And also, I'd like to throw out ProWrestlingTees.com. They take care of a lot of our merchandise. You can get the Bruce Tharpe T-shirts, the classic NWA T-shirt, the classic NWA logo T-shirts there as well. So there's a few places for our fans to seek us out.
Okay, nice. Well, on behalf of the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, it's our 100th episode, and I'd just like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you. And take care and all the best.
Thanks so much for the opportunity to appear on your program. I loved it, and I want to send a great shout-out to all my fans in the UK. By the way, a couple of great wrestlers in the UK, one of which I met in Japan this past trip, Jay White. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
He's training in the New Japan dojo. I think he's originally a New Zealander, but has been training in England with Tom Jones, the UK kid, who's also a fantastic wrestler, an old friend of mine. I'd like to send a shout out to him. Say hello, Tom, and hope to visit you one of these days really soon in the UK.
Nice one. All right. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks very much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bruce Tharpe there. Just went through all of his stuff at the moment with New Japan Pro Wrestling, going over there and becoming an on-screen character that was done by the fans themselves. So, the guy got rocked, man. Still can't believe he got rocked by Tenzon in the face like that. Bust his nose. That's just how real you get. But yeah, make sure you check out NWA, their website, all the territories. We've got a territory over here in UK, NWA Hammerlock. They've got they're rebuilding again after he got the rights to NWA, so they're rebuilding it back up again. So make sure you check them out. Make sure you check him out on the Twitter. All right, and that's the end of the show, people. That is the end of the show. What I want to do right now is thank Josh Dillon and Pepper Brooks for coming on the show. It is early where they at. Guys, if you want, can you please use this time now to plug the hell out of the Altered Angle?
That's right. The Altered Angle, we are available on iTunes. We're available on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio app. You can find us on Twitter. Pepper is Altered Angle PB. I'm Real Josh Dillon. You can follow the show at The Altered Angle. Lots of silliness and lots of great wrestling content on all those places.
Pepper, you want to say anything?
Yes, I'd just like to say it's a real shock to me today that I found out that you guys didn't know David Beckham. I just really don't know what to do with myself.
I know him from my uncle on my auntie's side. We don't know.
Yeah, I was looking at your profile picture, Kenny, and I can actually see a little bit of resemblance. So, but all joking aside, though, guys, thank you very much for having us on. We really appreciate the opportunity, and A chip and a Cheerio and all that good stuff to you guys.
Chip and a Cheerio.
What does that even mean?
I don't even...
I have no clue.
Is that in reference to something we say? I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I saw it on BBC one time.
and BBC America, I love that. And they portray the right shit of what we want. I wasn't surprised if they think we're like made in Chelsea.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Belmont. Obviously, want to thank you for coming on. Let them know about Offshoot Radio, my friend.
Offshoot Radio, you can find Offshoot Radio on Twitter at Offshoot Radio. We're available on Mixcloud and Podomatic. I've got a bigger team now, Kinny.
Hey!
It's myself, it's Roxy, Chad Broughton, and Mike Professor Rodriguez.
Woo! Yes, B Rotten. Yep, and hey, M Rod. He's in the building.
He's in the building.
Okay.
We're just getting started. Keep your eyes open.
Shugs, obviously cannot do this without the hashtag tech guy.
Yes, always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Just do that shit.
Before we go, just want to say, for all you people out there who know, the Seghead's been going through some stuff recently about some stuff that we've just recently found out. I've just recently found out also that there is someone going around catfishing again. So if you guys get someone following you named Miss Kelly T86, do not add fake profile picture coming from hot selfies on Facebook. So yeah, just don't even go there. Track of the week is by John Morrison, and if you don't like that, you could choke on that slap nuts. Woo!
Now listen, this ain't no make believe. Come on, open your eyes and see. Now get up and follow me, 'cause I'm gonna show you what the future will be. Too much wasted time, ain't gonna waste no more. No, baby. Now take this. Here I come. Hey, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna make you pay. Lay down. Watch me, I'm changing your life today. 'Cause you know the best of the fish to pay. Hey, you should have never shown up to play. 'Cause I collect on the mistakes that you made. Too much wasted time, ain't gonna waste no more. You got nothing to say, so what you keep talking for? Yeah, try acting the words you say. I know you won't get far. Hey, come on now. You know what I'm talking about. Here you come. Yeah, but there you go. Hey, you want a yes, but I give you no. Come on now. Too much small talk coming from your senseless mind. Your time's fast, and now the world is mine. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to call your loan, make you pay your sins. Yeah, come on with it now. Hey, yeah, first show up. Think you won, huh? I put you down.